What if the most powerful performance tool on Earth has nothing to do with your body? No weight room, no coach, no reps. What if the athletes who have shaped history, the ones who seemed untouchable, were all quietly using the same invisible weapon? They trained harder than anyone. That's the story we're told, and it's true. But it's not the whole story. Because behind closed doors, in locker rooms and hotel rooms and quiet corners of their minds, the greatest champions who ever lived were doing something else. Something the cameras never caught. They were assuming, not hoping, not wishing, not praying things would go their way. Assuming. The law of assumption is simple, and it hits hard. Whatever reality you assume to be true, feel it as done, live it as real, hold it as certain. Your mind and body will conspire to make it so. The greatest athletes in history didn't just train for victory, they assumed it first. This is how they did it, and this is how you can too. Before there was a science, before there was a strategy, there was Ali. Muhammad Ali didn't just predict he would win, he didn't just talk trash to sell tickets. He lived the outcome before a single punch was thrown. I am the greatest. People called him arrogant, delusional, dangerous. But here's what they missed. He wasn't boasting, he was assuming. He said it before the titles, before the knockouts, before the world knew his name. He assumed the identity of champion before the belt ever touched his waist. Before his fight with Sonny Liston, the man the entire boxing world feared, Ali was already living the victory. He had already walked through the arena in his mind. He had already heard the crowd. He had already seen himself holding that belt high. While Liston loomed like a mountain, Ali sat in his assumption like it was solid ground. The world called him crazy. Reality bent to match him. Ali rehearsed every round in his mind. He visualized every combination, every duck, every moment of glory, in such detail, such color, such certainty that his nervous system couldn't tell the difference between imagination and fact. He didn't wait for the world to believe in him. He assumed the end, and then he walked into the ring like a man who already knew. That's not confidence. That's a completely different level. That's the law of assumption in its purest form. Here's what neuroscience discovered, and it changes everything. When you vividly imagine performing an action, really feel it, see it, inhabit it, the same neural pathways fire as when you physically do it. Your brain doesn't know the difference. Think about that. Your nervous system responds to a vivid mental rehearsal the same way it responds to reality. The same electrical signals, the same muscle memory encoding, the same performance wiring. Scientists tested this with basketball free throws. One group practiced physically every day. Another group only visualized, standing at the line, seeing the arc, feeling the ball leave their hands, watching it drop clean through the net. The visualizers improved almost as much as the physical practitioners. Almost. As much. Just from assuming the outcome in their minds. Mental rehearsal doesn't just prepare you, it rewires you. It carves new pathways into the brain. It trains your nervous system to operate at a level your current circumstances haven't reached yet. When you assume a result with enough clarity and enough emotion, your body begins to operate as if that result is already happening. This isn't philosophy. This is physiology. Michael Jordan saw the shot go in before he released it, every time, without exception. Serena Williams walked onto the court having already played the match in her mind, seeing the match point, feeling the grip of the racket at the moment of victory, hearing the sound of the crowd as she won. Usain Bolt assumed he was the fastest man alive, not hoped, assumed. And then he ran like gravity owed him something. Look at the pattern across every champion. They assume the win. The body follows the mind's command. And here's what assumption does to fear. It dissolves it. Doubt cannot coexist with certainty. When your mind has already won, when you have already lived the outcome, fear doesn't find any room. It has nowhere to land. The athlete who walks in assuming victory moves differently, breathes differently, reacts differently. Their focus sharpens, their movements flow. Their performance measurably changes because their mind has already completed the event. They're not playing to win, they're playing out what they've already assumed. That is the edge. That is the secret hiding in plain sight.
You don't need to be an athlete.
Your goals are your arena, the boardroom, the audition, the business pitch, the relationship you want to build. The version of yourself you keep telling yourself is someday. The law of assumption works exactly the same. Here's how you apply it. Step 1. Choose your championship. Get specific. A vague assumption produces a vague result. Name the exact outcome you want. Step 2. Assume it's already done. Don't hope for it. Feel the reality of having it right now. What does it feel like? Where are you standing? Who's around you? What does the wind smell like, sound like, feel like in your chest? Step 3. Run the mental rehearsal. Visualize yourself in the moment of achievement. Every detail. Don't watch from the outside, be inside it, every day. Step 4. Speak it like Ali. Declare your assumption out loud, daily, not to convince others, to convince your nervous system. Say it until it feels like fact. Step 5. Move through your day as the person who already has it. How do they carry themselves? What decisions do they make? How do they speak? Be that person now. The gap between who you are and who you assume yourself to be closes faster than you think, because the assumption is doing the work first.
Ali wasn't built different.
He assumed different. The law of assumption isn't mystical. It's not magic. It's not reserved for champions born with something extra. It is the operating system of every person who has ever reached a level the world said was impossible. They assumed it first. They felt it first. They became it first, in their minds, and then reality followed. Your mind is the arena. Your assumption is the game plan. You don't have to wait for the world to give you permission. You don't have to wait for proof. You don't have to wait for the belt to be placed around your waist before you believe you deserve it. Assume the victory, then walk like it's already yours.